Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Hope you guys are keeping well. And as I speak, Wolverhampton Wanderers are on their way to Portugal for their first training camp ahead of the 25-26 season. And of course, with pre-season, it gives us a chance to look at certain players, new signings, albeit we haven't had many of those just yet. But it is a really good opportunity to catch up on some of the players that maybe we were still unsure of after last season, maybe we've not seen in a long time. And of course, it will give Vitor Pereira an opportunity to see where certain players fit into his plans, or maybe make Vitor realise they're not going to be able to slot into his squad this season. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 players that I am going to be keeping a keen eye on over the next few weeks of pre-season. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's smash the like button as well. Let's try and get 300 likes on this video. And let's kick off with player number 1. For this one, I have picked out Sasha Kalajdžić. We know that he's worked so hard to get back up to fitness and had 2 serious injuries for Wolves. But I'm really intrigued to see what the plan is for Sasha long term. I think with these injuries, he was completely written off last season. There's not really going to be any clubs, I don't think, right now going to be keen to take a hit on him. And of course, everyone wants a backup striker in this transfer window. Maybe, if Sasha could stay fit, it is a risk, but maybe we already have it in the ranks at the club. It actually surprised me to see that he'd actually played 12 Premier League games since joining the club. Albeit it is across 3 years since his €18 million move. For some reason, I thought it would only be like 6 or 7 games. I know he had a little bit of a run for Gary O'Neill, albeit a lot of games off the bench. But 12 Premier League games, scoring 2 goals under Gary O'Neill, 2 crucial goals as well, if you remember. Scored the winner against Everton and the winner against Bournemouth as well. But I'm really intrigued with this because I think especially right now, Jurgen Strand-Larsen's not joining up with the squad for another couple of days or so. So Sasha's been with the squad for the last sort of week. Is he going to get the nod? We've got a game on Tuesday. I assume Sasha may get the nod to start. How is Vitor going to use him? How is he going to play? Does he fit into how Vitor wants to play? I am intrigued. There's every chance that if he could prove his fitness up until August, if Wolves still aren't sure, he may be able to squeeze a move probably back to the Bundesliga. But I am interested to see how Sasha does and his progress. And of course, with it being a World Cup season now as well, he's going to be wanting to try and play as many games as he can to try and break into that Austria national team squad before the end of the campaign. I like Sasha. I think he's a likeable guy. The main thing for Wolves is that fitness. It's such a risk to rely on just him and Jurgen Strand-Larsen. But for the money that we've paid for such a unique footballer, it may well be a risk worth taking. And that's why I'm intrigued to see how he gets on this summer. Player number 2 is Hugo Bueno, a player that's been on the Wolves books for some time now. But this is a real big opportunity for him this season. Of course, with the departure of Ryan Aït-Nouri, there is an opportunity there for Hugo Bueno to become the number 1 left wing back at Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's no doubt that Wolves will probably go into the market for another left wing back to add more competition. We've already seen quite a little bit of rumours and stories about that so far, but this is a big chance for Hugo Bueno, albeit won't be for the next week or so in Portugal. Him and Rodrigo Gomes are going to be missing this particular leg of the pre-season due to being in the Euros under-21s tournament recently. But from there on, once the players return to England, I'm intrigued to see how Hugo gets on. Again, I think some fans will still have their reservations about him. He had a pretty productive year last campaign with Feyenoord in the Netherlands as well. But this is a big opportunity for Hugo. Obviously, come through the academy when we signed him at a really young age, homegrown now, and this is a big opportunity now for him really to prove why he should be number 1 left wing back. And I'm sure Vitor Pereira and the club will give him that opportunity as well. Player number 3 is going to be Enzo González, a very similar situation to Sasha Kalajdžić, who I mentioned earlier on in the video. Enzo has played just 1 game. Again, that was a cameo appearance right at the end of the 23-24 season, I think. 1 game in 2 years since his £5 million move from Paraguay. Look, I think a lot of people have written Enzo off. You know, he's only 20 years of age. He's got a long and potentially successful career ahead of him still, and technically looks like a very gifted footballer. The main thing for me is, can he stay fit? Had a nasty injury at the Olympics, I think it was this time last year. So the whole of last campaign was a write-off, and just very similar circumstances to Sasha, really. I don't think anyone's going to take the punt on him. This is an opportunity to show what he's worth at Wolves. I have no doubt he'll be involved in the under-21 setup throughout the season as well at times. But where will he fit into that team? No doubt it'll be the front three, probably one of the number 10s. Is he built for that long term? Will Vitor change the system to suit him? I think this is a really big opportunity for him, because last pre-season he wasn't with the club and then got injured. The year before, obviously, he was signed when the campaign had just started, I think, so didn't have a pre-season. So really, this is his first big chance to get fit, stay fit, and show the staff what he is capable of as a Wolves player. And that's why with Enzo, I'm really intrigued to see how he gets on. There's not many players of his profile and build that succeed at clubs like Wolves. Daniel Podence is a good example of players that did take that opportunity. Enzo, I think, has similarities to Podence. Can he bring those onto a first team level for Wolves? I think pre-season will give us a really good indication of that. Player number 4 is Fer Lopez. Of course, as of right now, the only signing Wolves have made so far. So the only new player going with the squad to Portugal. And I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. Not many Wolves fans have had the opportunity to see him play in the flesh. And I think even though he was appearing in Spain and getting those opportunities, it's such a small sample size still for Wolves fans to look at. So I'm excited with Fer Lopez to see him. He's joined the club with a lot of promise, albeit those limited minutes he produced decent numbers in terms of percentiles whilst he was out in Spain. And I'm just interested to see what he can do in a Wolves shirt. Again, what role is he going to be deployed in? Because I think as of right now, this is a big opportunity for him as he's joined so early. He's got a chance to impress Vitor pretty much from day one, and has probably the better chance of anyone or any new signing to say, look, I'm this good. I want to be playing on the first game of the season against Manchester City. This is a really big opportunity for Wolves fans really to see what level Fer's at, what qualities he's got, and if he can genuinely be a top player for Wolves, not just, in the future, but this season as well. And the final player on my list is Matheus Mané. As of today, he signed his first professional deal at Wolves, and I believe he should be going to Portugal with the squad as well. If not, the rest of pre-season, I'm sure he's going to be given opportunities. I did a video on Mané probably a couple of months ago now, and I discussed in regards to Vitor Pereira and what he had done previously with certain players at his previous clubs. Players that really hadn't been given the opportunity but had got obvious quality and worked hard on the training ground. And Vitor gave them the opportunities, and they've gone on to have, so far, real strong and successful careers. I'm looking at Matheus Mané as maybe he's another one of those players that Vitor Pereira can nurture and grow into something extremely special. Probably right now, the player that's got the young player that's got the most hype at the football club. And again, I'm interested to see what happens. He's a forward player. I don't think he'll play as a number 9, although I could be wrong. He may well play there. I think he might play as one of those number 10s. Still pretty well built and quite tall for a player of his age and experience as well. And again, like I said, this is an interesting pre-season because we're playing teams of all sort of different levels and statures, really. And this will be a good test to see how Matheus Mané can do on a solid, in a pre-season against teams that are experienced. We played the likes of Stoke, Celta Vigo, Lens. We've got a couple of good games in Portugal, obviously Girona. These are good teams, and this is going to be a real good level for Matheus Mané. Can he stand up against these players that have got 5-10 years worth of experience and show the quality that he's got? I think we're intrigued, and I'm sure Vitor Pereira is going to be equally as interested to see how he gets on this summer. Before I finish, actually, one very quick honourable mention. I know I said 5. Kiana Hoover is one that interested me as well. We saw him pictured. It's so funny when the players return for pre-season because there's so many players you forget almost are still contracted towards. And Kiana Hoover has had a couple of loan spells out. And again, like Hugo Bueno, actually a productive loan spell last year for Auxerre in France. Right wing back, again, with Nelson Semedo potentially moving on. I think probably I'm 90% now that I think Nelson will move on. is there, an opportunity for Keanu Hoover to possibly push in? I don't think many people would have expected it. And again, if Nelson goes, I think people will want a new right wing back. But with Pedro Lima, probably Rodrigo Gomes playing there as well. Keanu Hoover, is there a chance from there? Possibly even as a right centre-back, I don't know. But again, this summer could be an interesting one for him. If I had to guess, I think he will probably move on. But with him going potentially out with the team to Portugal, this is a big opportunity for him as a player and for potentially his Wolves' future as well. But guys, that is all for today. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which player are you most looking forward to seeing during pre-season? And fingers crossed it's a successful one. Everyone stays fit, healthy. We see some wins, we see some goals. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it as always, guys. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel, guys, for the latest Wolves news. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.